Authors note these are my own original characters from another story I'm writing, so I thought I would use them in a short story with this prompt and Olivia Rodrigo's song, Driver's License. There will be a little background about Aria, as she is the character POV I am writing in. Aquaria, Aria, Noel. Aria picked up the hook and stared at it intensely. Lillian pinched the bridge of her nose, shaking her head in frustration. Aria? Please honey, it's not a weapon. It is simply just a hook. Can we continue to actually start the process of crocheting? Aria ignored Lillian. She stood up, put the hook across from her industrial eye, and lasered it. And Lillian jumped up from her seat yelping in surprise. The former metal crochet hook, now an obliterated mess, miserably fell to the ground. Satisfied, Aria grabbed another hook. Okay, I think it's safe. Let's start. With a sigh of relief, Lillian picked up her own hook and started wrapping the yarn around it. This is how you start the... And looked across the table to Aria to see how her first attempt was going. In Aria's hands was a whole stitch crochet. And smacked her forehead. You can't use your enhanced technology thingy-majiggy to learn everything faster. Aria shrugged. You would do it too, it's a lot more efficient. It's not you can't just the whole point gah. Anne's words became a blubbering British mess. Her accent came through really thick, especially when she was angry. Aria, although not understanding anything and said, continued to respond. Wait. I'll say it. She cleared her voice and started to poorly mimic Anne's British accent. It's about authenticity, darling. You shouldn't rush through everything because then you don't get to enjoy the depth of life. Joy of life, Aria. Not depth, Evan said while strolling past the doorway of the living room. Still flustered or furious, nobody could ever tell, and nodded to Evan's statement. Aria dropped her one crochet stitch onto the couch, and lazily saluted to Anne. Good day to you, madam, I have some business to attend to, and glared at Aria, who was still imitating her British accent. As Aria walked towards the kitchen in their teeny-tiny apartment, previously owned by raccoons, she heard music blasting in the laundry room. Since the apartment was so small, there was only one bedroom, which obviously belonged to her. The laundry room was Gregor's, the living room Anne's, and the nursery room was Evan's. Why the owners, before the raccoons, decided to make a nursery room and a laundry room instead of actual bedrooms in such a small place was a mystery to everyone. She walked towards Gregor's room, opened the door. The handle was a makeshift cardboard one since Aria ripped the old one off. She made an excuse that it was rusty anyways. Gregor lay flat on the sleeping bag. His phone was propped up on one of the washing machines. Yes, there was more than one washing machine, playing the same song on repeat. Aria didn't particularly like to listen to music, as her synthetic ear didn't quite catch the vibe. Her left ear, out of her left eye and arm that were lost in an incident when she was little, got the least of the upgrades. Her left eye got a hard drive in the shape of a marble, her left her got a prosthetic arm with increased human muscle abilities. Her ear did hear higher frequencies than a human ear, but it did not compare with a human's musical eardrum. However, the song Gregor played sounded nice. She dragged the sleeping bag out from under Gregor. He flopped onto the ground. Gregor groaned but did not awake. Aria pinched him with her prosthetic arm. Ouch! He yelled, swatting the arm away. It's me, Aria said impatiently. Gregor immediately sat up and bowed his head. Aria was pleased that he respected her and kept telling her that Gregor liked her, but Aria always replied that and was going crazy. What song are you listening to? Gregor looked up at her sleepy-eyed. It's called Biker's License, although I'm not too sure why you need a license to ride a bike. He rubbed his eyes in sleepiness. Why do you ask? A biker does not need a license. Aria didn't want to tell him that she liked the song, so she avoided the question. Okay, I'm going to go cook breakfast. She started to walk out of the room, but Gregor grabbed her arm. Wait, Aria turned around and looked at him. Yeah? She could hear his pulse speeding up in his hand. He was probably sick. You know this song is talking about dash? I can't hear you. You're mumbling. It wasn't that she couldn't hear him, but he barely opened his mouth and words were not apprehensible, kind of went and got angry. I would like pancakes for breakfast, please. She nodded and closed the door. She didn't cook breakfast though. Arya calmly walked to her room facing the nursery. She dug out her phone from under the covers and searched up Biker's license. Arya clicked the big triangle on the screen and listened vehemently. It was nice. Really nice. After the fifth time listening to Biker's license on repeat, someone knocked on Arya's door. She threw her phone across the room. She winced as it fell onto the ground and sound of the cracking of the screen rung in her ears. Come in, Evan stood in the doorway. Actually, no. Don't come in. If Evan found out she broke her phone again, he wouldn't let her forget it. For some strange reason, he had an inner desire to piss her off every moment of their lives. Fine. Didn't you say you were going to cook breakfast today? Arya slowly nodded. She got off her bed and ran out of her room before Evan could say anything else. She had been clear that if anyone forgot their chores while living in the apartment, they would have to do everyone else's chores the next day. She had been a complete hypocrite. She started the fire on the lousy oven and put a piece of butter on it. Unconsciously, she started humming Biker's license while she cooked. Arya heard someone's footsteps behind her. She continued to cook, enjoying humming the song. What ya humming? And asked Arya. Arya nearly dropped the egg. She didn't realize she was humming until then. How embarrassing. Guess you like the song, Gregor said. Arya turned around. Evan was holding in his laughter with his hand on his mouth. Gregor was painfully smiling and was plugging her ears with her fingers. Do I really sound that bad? She asked them. When they didn't answer, she commanded them to tell her. And admitted she was a bit out of tune. Evan said she sounded like a goose, and after a lot of convincing, Gregor finally confessed she sounded like nails going down a chalkboard. The air tensed up. Arya never had a skill she couldn't master. Her enhanced body parts helped her learn things a lot quicker than most people, but it didn't make sense why she couldn't sing. At least this masterpiece of a song makes up for your lack of skills, Evan muttered to himself. Arya kicked the back of his knee and he fell on the ground. It was a joke. Please calm down, he said, backing away from her. Leave, Arya commanded all of them. And so they did. The end. For now.